If you like this video, please leave a comment down below. Say, hey man, this review sucked. You're fat. Pedal more. Wear safety gear. Wear higher socks. Let me know what's up, man. I should have made a remix out of that.
Hey guys, today we're breaking down the Revr TA9. It is a fat tire e-bike ready for city and for trails, built for both speed and range. It's powered by a 750 watt brushless motor made by Bafang, paired with a 48 volt, 20 amp hour battery, giving you up to 80 miles of range on a single charge. Top assisted speed, 28 miles per hour with a throttle capped at 20. It weighs just over 81 pounds and can carry up to a specific 264 pounds. The frame is made by a 60-61 aluminum alloy for strength without the excess weight, and it has a kind of morph paint where depending on the light it looks either blue or purple. It has both front suspension and rear suspension, and the center shock is called a horse style suspension, and Jay will dive into that later in the review. You get 26 by 4 inch fat tires for grip and stability, and a hydraulic disc brake system made by Tektro for confident stopping power. The 8-speed Shimano drivetrain offers flexibility for hills and flats, and there are 5 pedal assist levels so you can fine-tune the effort. It's built for riders between 5'2" and 6'2". The bike is just covered in brand names. It has a Bafang motor, it has Tektro brakes, it has Zoom handlebars and a seat post. With the amount of brands that this has, you wouldn't expect it to be the price that it actually is.
I do want to apologize off the jump. This is gonna look a little bit more straight up than what it is. It's because of the camera mount. I didn't really have much of a choice, to put it this way. So before you comment and say, oh man, that looks uncomfortable, those brakes, I don't know if you can see the side view, but the side view, there's a little bit of an angle. It's about 20 degrees. So it's not that I don't know how to adjust the handlebars. I wanted to get this lower, but okay, let's just get it. So usually the first thing I talk about when I get on a bike is the comfort. Is this a comfortable bike? I just want to preface this and tell you that if you're looking at this bike, it's designed for off-road. Can you use it for on-road? Absolutely. You're also going to need to change that seat. Let's get on with it. So pedal assist 1, we go to about 8 miles per hour. Pedal assist 2, you can see the speedometer says 10. Pedal assist 3, we go to 13. It is important to note that the bike can in fact go 28 miles per hour, but you're gonna be doing that with your feet just because this is a torque sensor. You're not gonna get it with a cadence and you're not gonna get it with the throttle. So the rear motor on this is a Bafang motor, and I think that that's definitely worth highlighting because Bafang is a higher brand, and you don't see a lot of e-bike companies using name brands like Tektro, which we'll go over shortly, or Bafang. They go with either their model or a model that they could slap a name on. Let's test these brakes real quick. Okay, so 203 millimeters. That's what we're seeing biting there. Lakeview Estates, 203 millimeter Tektro branded. We already know that those brakes, they're gonna be good. I really do not need to spend a lot of time on these just because they're Tektro. And I am the same dude that says, you know, hey man, whether it's Tektro, whether it's Magicycle, they're all the same brakes. I've never had a set of Tektro hydraulic brakes go bad, one, or be bad. So, you know, they speak for the name, it speaks for themselves, just like the motor. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, yeah, they definitely bite. We know we got a good motor, we got good braking. What about suspension? Now, the suspension on this is interesting because I want to talk more about the horsed suspension in the center than I do the front. Now, the front suspension on this does have your typical compression and then your rebound adjustment. So let's talk a little bit more about that horse suspension. What we're working with, okay, is 165 millimeter size. That doesn't really matter. 35 millimeters of travel. Now, you do have adjustability, 275 PSI, and it's not as simple as, okay, I weigh 275 pounds. Do I put 275 in there? No, don't do that, because I'm 260, and I think there's 240 in there. You also got to realize that you're putting weight on the front, you're putting weight on the rear, so it's not that simple. Just adjust it to what your weight is, plus what you're doing. And what's interesting about this rear suspension is you can turn it on and off. There's a lot of customizability. That's the word I'm looking for. But because the way the swing arm is on this, and that it's really for anti-sag. So let's talk about the power real quick. 48 volt system, 960 watt hour battery, rated at 20 amp hours. And this is big because we're going to talk about this for a second. The charger that this comes with is in fact a 3 amp charger. So from completely dead to about 100% is going to be 6 hours. But what's interesting on this is they list on their website 60 to 80 miles with this single battery. Do I believe it? Yes, let me tell you why. First off, this bike's not gonna go 28 miles per hour with just the throttle, unless you know how to hack it or there's no menu, right? Like, there's nothing to where you can set this up and say, I wanna go 28. So you have to go 20 miles per hour. And you can use the throttle to get there, but I feel like most people that get this style of bike, they're not gonna use the throttle. They're gonna do what I'm doing. You know, to go up some steep hills if they can't otherwise go up. They're at the end of the journey, it's getting rough. I mean, I'm using a whole lot of it just because I can't go 28. I'm trying to show the bike who's boss. Like, you ain't gonna let me go 28. I'm still gonna do the speed. Okay, well, it's not really, the bike's showing me who's boss, but that's irrelevant. So you have a good system. So when they say 60, 80 miles, if you're doing a lot of this and not a lot of this, yes, you're gonna get that. How do I know? Well, that's an easy question because I had a 940 or 920 watt hour rated at 18 amp hours. I'm not even joking right now. I did about 24, 25 miles per hour, and I got on that, what was it? I thought it was 1,000. It might have been 750. I'm not sure on the motor, but I got 54 miles on it. So you can 100% get that 60 to 80 miles. How much of that throttle are you using? How much wind? How much hill? There's way too many factors. So, you know, I'd like to be more specific and give it a true range test, but not everybody out there is going to be riding in flat-ass Florida at 200 and, I don't even know my weight, 200 and fat pounds, 260 pounds. Actually, I weighed myself this morning, I was 258. I'm kind of proud of myself. I lost 3 pounds. I think I just wasn't wearing shoes. So, you know, are you going to be able to get 60 to 80 miles, realistically? Honestly, if you're using the throttle, yes, I think you'll get 65. If you're using the pedals, I think you could get that higher upper 70, 80 miles. No problem at all. Sorry, I had to stop there. I got too many people get upset that I don't stop at stop signs. So I'm trying to do my best and change who I am to make other people feel better. Let's test some of the suspension off-road. Let's throw some things around here. There's that 20 miles per hour. So off-road, this bike is gonna excel. Let's talk about some numbers real quick. First off, they're saying the max load of this bike is 264 pounds. I think that this is interesting for a lot of reasons. Number one, that's an odd specific amount of max weight. Like, it's oddly split, not 270, not 260, 264. Why? Is it because the bike weighs 82 pounds? But even then, that's still it's an even number, but it's an odd number. It's not on by hundreds or 50s. So if it does support 264 pounds, the good thing is you get this bike, you're right, this is not, I mean, it is off-road, but it's not off-road. If you get this bike, you're not gonna be doing this. You're gonna be losing weight. So if you weigh 270, I'm gonna go on the rough side here and say it's safe to get. If you weigh 270, you'll lose weight by pedaling, so it's definitely worth it. There are 2 things that I did forget to mention while we kind of sum up this review. Let me just cover them real quick. To turn on the headlight, what you're gonna do is you're gonna long press the up button. I actually had to wait till I could pull up in the shade so I could show you this. You just kind of hold that, and then you're gonna see this guy right here. And in fact, well, your headlight is on. And then to shut it off, you're just gonna press it again. So I don't know if this is really a negative or not, but that speed bumps. I cannot, I should have made a remix out of that. I cannot get the cruise control to work. Essentially, you hold down the throttle, then you press the down button, cruise control activates. I don't know, it's not working for me. I don't know how else harder. Press it harder, Jay. I mean, if I'm pressing it now, it seems like it's working, and then I let it go, and then nothing. So I don't know. The cruise control, I just can't get to work. Who would I recommend this bike for? If you found this bike because you were like, I want an electric mountain bike, but I don't want to spend $5-6 grand on it because they get crazy. And that's on the lower side, by the way. And you were like, I'm going to get this one. Now, out of all the bikes that I've done reviews on, there have been, I think, 3 electric style mountain bikes that don't have a comfortable seat, that are torque sensor. There's 3. All 3 of them, well, if we're not going to factor in this guy because this would be the 3rd. But those other ones are still to this day, $2,800 and I think $26. And they don't even have name brand. I think that's important. Like their motor is just Johnny Walker. I think that's a whiskey. It's not Bafang, right? It's not Tektro. It's Shimano Tourney on a $2,600 bike. With this, $1,500, you know, with that coupon code in the description down below, is it worth it? Yes, it is. Would I buy this bike for $1,500? No. Let me tell you why. Because I'm kind of lazy, right? I'm getting old. I don't really want to go off-road and use pedals. I want to use the throttle. Like, for instance, I've been riding for the past 25 minutes. My knees are tired already. I get it, ride more. But look, you're on an e-bike channel. I think the exact opposite is what everybody is doing, is riding less, well, riding more, but letting the bike do all the riding, not your knees. And I feel like the older that we get, I'm not worried about my head or my gloves. I'm worried about my knees, man. Because if I can't walk no more, you know how hard it is to walk with no knees? You know, the bike is really designed for somebody that wants to go off-road. You can ride it on-road or on the sidewalk. It does have really good suspension, extremely stiff. Honestly, I would complain about the seat not being comfortable. For what this bike is, though, I don't expect anything else. I don't expect super cushion. They're not saying, hey, man, this is a commuter. Go take this to work after 30 miles, you know, and then let me know how your butt feels. They're not doing that. They're saying this bike is off-road. Here's the suspension. We ain't playing no games. We're using all name brand. Yeah, what is the brand of the tires? Kenda? You guys, on a side note, you ever notice that some of the higher-end bikes use Kenda tires? I mean, I know Pirelli makes street tires for road bikes. I don't think they make fat tires. I remember looking this up. If you guys have ever heard of fat tires, name brand like Michelin, what does it say, Puffman? That's not it. Goodyear? Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please leave a comment down below. Say, hey man, this review sucked. You're fat. Pedal more. Wear safety gear. Wear higher socks. Let me know what's up, man. Also, there'll be a link in the description down below with a coupon code if you're looking to pick this bike up. Give you a little bit of a discount and I put some money in my pocket. That's always nice. Y'all stay beautiful and sunny side up.